Hi, thank you for agreeing to participate in this experimental exercise. The purpose of this exercise is to make scientific discoveries about how teams move and communicate while playing simple games. Therefore, you and the other participants will play a game of team hide and seek. You will play the game on George Mason University's main campus. During the game, you will use a smartphone to send and receive information from your teammates using text messages and phone calls. Throughout the game, you and the other players will work together to make decisions about where to move and how to communicate as you try to win. Each game of hide and seek will last about 2 hours. Your participation is unconditionally voluntary, and you may withdraw from the exercise without penalty at any time and for any reason. If you satisfy the rules and requirements of this exercise, you will receive 1/2 of a research credit towards your research participation requirement for every half hour that you participate. On behalf of the research team, I thank you in advance for your participation. Before we begin, please turn off and store your personal phone in your pocket. We ask that you do not use your personal phone during the exercise. Exercise controllers will organize all participants into 2 teams. One team of seekers that we call pursuers, and one team of hiders that we call evaders. Each participant will receive a role identifier like Pursuer 1, 2, or 3, or Evader 1, 2, or 3. Each team has one goal. The Pursuer team's goal is to capture all of the members of the Evader team before time runs out. The Evader team goal is to avoid being captured such that at least one member of the Evader team has not been captured when the game is over. Each team will have 5 minutes prior to the start of the game to discuss team strategy and choose starting locations. Thereafter, you will have 5 minutes to move to your starting location.
At the start of the exercise, you'll be handed a colored jersey, small electronic beacon, and a smartphone. Evaders will be given a neon orange jersey, and pursuers will be given a neon green. The beacon will be attached to the shoulder of the jersey. Do not move the beacons. To power the screen on, press the button on the right-hand side. Swipe up past any messages you may see. WhatsApp is the primary communication tool during the exercise. And will send messages to everyone on your team as well as the exercise controller. You can also use the cell phone. Press the phone icon will bring you to your contacts list. All the members of your team will be listed in the contacts. Do not call anyone using the dialer. Only use the contacts. Press on the contact. Call the person. A member of your team will receive the call. All calls will be recorded. If your phone dies, make sure you press the screen power button. If the screen still doesn't turn on, turn the home button. Volume is on the left-hand side. If you're unable to get power to your phone and your phone is totally dead, proceed back to home base.
There are some rules for the protection of the privacy of all participants as well as others not engaged in the experiment. Do not use the camera feature of WhatsApp. And do not use your real names in your communications. Use only your role when addressing others. For example, Evader 3 or E3. Participants who take photos, engage in unauthorized communications, or tamper with the smartphones will be dismissed from the exercise and receive no participation credit. This game will occur in real physical space on the George Mason University campus. These are the boundaries for the exercise. Please remain within Patriot Circle at all times. During the exercise, you are encouraged to move about the designated game area in order to evade or capture the opposing team. You must walk only on paved sidewalks at all times, and you may not use any other mode of transportation. For example, bicycles, scooters, cars, or buses. For your safety, as well as that of other participants, and as a courtesy to other members of the community on campus, running is not permitted. Walking is defined as having at least 1 foot on the ground at all times. At about the midpoint of the game, the controllers will announce a short break. During that time, and that time only, you may enter a building to have a snack, get water, use the restroom, whatever. But please return to the place where you were when the break was announced and be ready to resume the game when the controller announced promptly. Your location will be monitored throughout the exercise. If you become lost for any reason, send a message using WhatsApp to the controller or call the exercise controller. If you leave the game area, you will receive a message directing you to return immediately. You may or may not see other players during the game. Do not, under any circumstances, engage in physical contact with the other participants. If a pursuer comes within close proximity of an evader, the smartphones and beacons will detect each other, and that evader will be considered captured. Both evader and pursuer smartphones will display a message about the capture event. If you see a member of your own team, you will not receive a message. If you see a member of the opposing team at a long distance, you are encouraged to play the game to the best of your ability, but remember not to run. The game will end when one of 2 outcomes are reached. Either the pursuer team captures all of the evaders, or at least one evader remains in play when time runs out. Please keep playing the game until you are eliminated or the controller announces that the game has concluded. At the conclusion of the exercise controller will collect your equipment and ask you some questions about your experience using a web-based questionnaire. The answers to these questions will help the researchers understand how you made decisions collaboratively with your teammates or in response to the conditions that you observed. Please answer these questions as completely as possible. Now that you know what we are going to do, please let us know if you have any questions or health or safety concerns. For example, if you are ill, prone to respiratory distress, or otherwise unable to engage in mildly strenuous physical activity outdoors, now would be the time to let your exercise controller know. If you encounter any problems during the game, contact the exercise controller immediately using WhatsApp or the contact number in the phone's roster. If you are approached by anyone with questions about the exercise, please tell them that you are participating in university-sponsored research and refer them to Dr. Kevin Curtin at gmu.edu, CURTIN at gmu.edu. In the event of a true emergency or safety concern, immediately dial 911 to call the police as you would with your personal phone. If unexpected circumstances prevent you from participating in or completing the exercise, please notify your controller. In most cases, you will be rescheduled to participate on another day. Thank you for your participation in this important research. I hope you found it interesting. I invite you to ask me or your controller about the project if you would like to know more about our work.